I just wanted to do this little video to share sort of a series of events that were kind of all crazy. I mean, there was the policeman, there was the van and what happened with that. And then there was the letter that someone put on the front of my van, which I'm going to share with you in this video. But first, welcome to my channel. My name's Julia. I live in a van, and so crazy things happen. Now, as many of you know, I've been looking for cleaning work, and the most amazing thing happened. My main client put up an ad on a site explaining that he had this amazing housekeeper, and now I've gotten like 6 different requests for house cleaning. They're not all going to work out because some of them are too far to make it worth it. And one lady, I told her about the van and she just never called back. Being a house cleaner and then pulling up to someone's house that doesn't know you, even though you come with a good recommendation if you're living in a van with a dog, that sometimes they don't want you to be their house cleaner. So that's just the way it is. So anyway, that's good news. I'm looking for work so I can make more money. So hopefully I'll get some regular cleaning jobs. That would be very nice and very helpful. Okay, so let's start this story. It starts with me going to a new cleaning job at a lady's house, which was supposed to be for 2 hours, but ended up being 4 hours. At the end of it, when it was time for me to get paid, she was going to PayPal me. And so she PayPal'd me, but it didn't come through to my phone, to my PayPal. And we're like, what's going on? Why isn't this working? We keep waiting for it to show up. And then she says, well, I don't know what to do. I said, well, what are we going to do? Do you have cash on hand or whatever? And she's like, no. And she's just sitting there going, well, I don't know what to do. And I'm thinking, am I supposed to leave and not get paid and have you figure it out later? So finally her daughter comes out. She's like in her 50s, daughter. She gets on there and we discover that the mom has had the wrong email. There's an extra letter in there. Then the daughter's trying to type it in and she says it's not populating. Like when she types in part of my email address, it should populate in the drop down thing. And I'm going, just type in the whole thing as it is and then resend the money to that. It should work. And she's like having all this trouble. Oh, I can't figure out, what are we gonna do? And I start thinking, I'm being scammed. Am I being scammed here? And I said that out loud. I said, am I being scammed here? Is this a scam? I can't leave without being paid. And the daughter absolutely freaked out. Her name was Nicole, and she said, I didn't want Nikki to come out. Now Nikki's come out. And she starts yelling. She's like freaking out, like, oh no, you didn't just say that. And so I just got really quiet. And finally she decided to go to Safeway and get me the $80. And she did, and I got the $80 and said, thank you for doing that. Thank you for this job. I hope you enjoyed the work I did. Take care. And I left, and that was that job. And it was way more stressful than I've explained here because I had Bambi in my van, like around the corner on the street, parked waiting for me. Now it was 4 hours and 45 minutes because it took 45 minutes to try and pay me. And I'm like ready to go. I'm like ready to check on Bambi, you know. I am like wasting my time now not getting paid. So it was really kind of stressful. And I knew, well, now I don't have this job. So that sucked because there was a mistake made and she couldn't put the email in right. And then it flared up. There was the part about when I was cleaning the bathroom. I'm sitting there at the bathroom door. I finished. The bottom of my shoes are a little wet and I don't want to walk across her white carpet. And my face is dripping with sweat. And I ask her, excuse me, do you have a paper towel I can use or a couple of paper towels? And she says, no, they're really expensive. Those things are really expensive. And I'm like, I've already used all the rags in the bathroom. So she didn't want to give me a paper towel. There were a couple other things that happened that made me not want to go back. So that job's not going to happen, but we have several more that might work out depending on how they feel about Van Life Girl. So anyway, we finally get out of there. We've got our $80. Then we drive down to the park and we take a nice long walk in the park. And then it's time to leave. So we go ahead and put the key in the ignition and nothing happens. The van is dead, 100% dead. No light, no click, no rev, no nothing. It's completely dead. And I'm like, no! And I'm parked in a park that you're not allowed to stay overnight in. So yeah, now I'm like, crap. It's getting dark. It's like 8:30, 9. So I have AAA and I'm trying to decide, do I call AAA for a tow, get towed to the mechanic shop, which would be on a Thursday, and I know they're always busy at the end of the week. It's Thursday, Friday. And now I'm sleeping overnight in the middle of the city, right where there's a lot of homeless people around and crazy shenanigans going on. And my window also, because it won't start, is halfway down on each side. So I'm deciding, do I call AAA or not? Then I see that there's a truck parked behind me. They're like parked away in a corner. Looks like they're going to try and stay there for the night. So I asked the guy if he can try and give me a jump. So he very kindly does. It's a guy and a chick. They look a little rough. Their vehicle looks really rough, but that's okay. They got a couple pit bulls. So he pulls the truck over and he's like going super fast. And he like hooks it all up. And it kind of, the light goes on for a second. And I'm like, let it charge for a few minutes, you know? And he's like, well, try again, try again. So I try again and it goes on. When I take my foot off, it dies. So I try again, I rev it, I keep revving it, revving it, revving it. And he unhooks it. He doesn't let it charge up. He's going 100 miles an hour. I don't know what's going on. He unhooks it, he pulls away, and that's it. So I let it sit for a while. I'm revving. And then I try and put it in reverse and it dies. And that's it. We're stuck. And I'm not going to ask him again. I don't know why he didn't let it charge. So I go, you know what? I'm not calling AAA tonight. I'm not going to be stuck in the middle of town with my windows down. I decide to stay there overnight. And I even thought about calling the police and being like, hey, I'm stuck in this park. I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm just calling you guys to let you know that I am parked here overnight until I can get towed tomorrow, you know, but I didn't do that. And it turns out it was fine. Nobody knocked on the window. Now, I even put a little sign that said tow coming. But before we go to bed, I'm in the back and Bambi like barks a little bit. And I'm like, what's going on? I look up and there's a note on my windshield. This note with this lovely writing. I can barely read it, but I'm going to read it to you right now. Apparently, it was from the lady that was with the man in the truck. My name is Star. My old man and I have 207 of white and 8 balls. My old man would like to smoke and give you 3 balls and $100 or $150 to smoke and help him get off. And anything, let me put 200 in your pocket for helping my man, but I can't do it. And I can do 200 or 300 if you can, please. Call or text, blah, blah, blah. Please, Star. Now, the reason it's all crinkled up is because it's so disgusting. You realize what I just read there. She's asking me to take care of her man and offering me hundreds of dollars and drugs. No wonder he was going 100 miles an hour. The reason this is wrinkly is because I crumpled it up and I was going to throw it at their stupid truck. But then I realized I'd be littering and then there'd be trash around our vehicles, drawing more attention to the fact that we're parking there overnight. So I had to spend the night with these two parked, you know, kind of behind me. The answer was no, obviously. So the next day, I decided instead of using one of my tows, that it was probably the battery, obviously, and that I should just call for the battery service, which I did. And they came out and checked the battery, which was completely dead. And he brought a battery that I could buy from AAA. It was like $200. Put that in and the van starts and everything's fine. Okay, so we leave the park that night, you know, when it closes at dusk. And I come and I park in town on this little side street. And there's another van up the way. And it's usually generally a safe area. And I go in the back, I have a drink. I'm a little tipsy. But I'm like so spoiled and everything's so easy here that I'm taking risks like that. So I'm in the back, I've got my drink. I'm chilling out. I go up front and sit up front with Bambi for a few minutes. And I see this cop coming. So he pulls up and he's got his light in my face. I can't see his face at all. The light's in my face. He goes, hello. I go, hello. How can I help you? Or something like that. He goes, did you just hear people arguing and a gunshot? And I'm like, no, what's going on? And he goes, well, we got a call. There was some arguing and a gunshot. And you haven't heard any? You didn't hear that? And I said, no, I didn't hear anything. I said, actually, there's usually stuff going on here, but not tonight. I haven't heard anything tonight. And I'm like buzzing. So I'm like afraid like something's going to happen here. I'm going to get in trouble. But so I go, good luck. And he goes, thanks. And he goes, sorry about the light in your face. And he takes the light down and then I can see him. And I laughed and I go, it's okay. And he pulls off. And then like a little bit later, a cop car pulls up to the end of the road and is parked on that corner by the other van for a while. So they were dealing with something and I couldn't see what it was, but something had gone down right near where I was parked. And I'm like, should I leave? Well, now I've had a drink and I don't want to drink and drive. So we didn't, we stayed. Because I figured whatever happened, they took care of it. And then they eventually took off. That's just a couple of days of what my life is like sometimes. But that's what it can be like in van life sometimes. You just never know what's going to happen, Now, I'll just leave you with one more thing, which is what we woke up to. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Please like it and subscribe to the channel for more crazy stories and just everyday van life, as well as me sewing in my van, because I do make upcycled clothes and handmade dresses out of recycled jeans. And you can find my creations in my Etsy store linked in the description below. All right, thanks for watching. Everybody have a great day. Bye for now.